Hello, coming at you with a new book video. This one is about overextending yourself at the library and getting way too many books. Hi. I am gonna set these down here and kind of just talk to you about them. Sorry my shelves are so empty right now. I only just built these. Shelf building video, go check it out. And I'm going to be making another video soon about me organizing my shelves, so make sure you check back for that and subscribe and like this video and all that fun stuff. Okay, I got that out of the way. So I have 10 books total, and this happens to me pretty much every time I go to the library. I'm always getting way too many books. I pretty much just see so many books that I've been like wanting to read. And my TBR list on Goodreads goes on for literally ever. I think I have like over 350 books on there. So of course there's always going to be a lot of books that I'm wanting to read. And of course I'm always going to see a lot of them at the library. But I just like can't hold myself back when I go there. I see all these amazing books and like they're free. You just take them out and then you bring them back on time and they're free to read and enjoy and all that. So yeah, I always overextend myself. Of course, I have tons of books on my physical shelf that I need to read, and I put them aside because I end up getting 10 library books. So anyway, this is kind of just a little rant about that, and just have any of you experienced this? Do you experience this? When you go to the library, how do you hold yourself back? And then if you don't read a library book, do you feel guilty? Because a lot of the times I feel so guilty if I've returned a book and I haven't read it. So yeah, that's pretty much what this video is about, and I'm gonna just read some of these on camera for you. Some of them I'm not gonna video because that would take forever, but I'll read some of them on camera, and I will give you a brief summary review of each of these books when I finish reading them. So let me just tell you what I have here. We'll go through the list really quickly. First, I have The Cousins. This seems like it's going to be such a good thriller mystery book. I have heard amazing things about this, so I was really excited to read this one. Then I have Obsessed. I have actually already started reading this one, and so far I'm a little iffy on it. It's just kind of intense to be in someone's brain that has OCD, which is what this book is about. But I'm hoping to finish this and not make it a DNF. Then we have Counterfeit. I have been dying to read this, and I saw it at the library and I was just so stoked to have it, but I have yet to get to it. I actually have the audiobook on reserve, so I thought if I start reading it and I can't finish it or something, I'll finish it up with the audiobook. So there's that one. Then I have Brotherhood. This is one of the newer ones in the Star Wars like series, but not a series kind of thing. So I'm really excited about this. It goes with Obi-Wan and Anakin's story, like as they're dealing with being in the Clone Wars. So I was very excited to have this as well. Then I have My Summer Darlings. I've heard so many amazing things about this book. I have actually just recently saw a bad review for it though, so I'm a little bit kind of nervous to get into it now, but also it's making me like intrigued to get started on it because I want to know like what I might think of it. Then, thanks Haley Pham, I got Tweet Cute, and I already read this one, so I'm going to be doing a little brief review for you next on this one. Also, there's a mini review on my YouTube shorts, so go check that out if you want to hear just a very quick little breakdown of this afterward. I actually have been doing mini reviews. It's a thing that I'm starting to do on all the books I read. I want to give you like a mini breakdown of the book and just get you excited about reading. So I will have like a little series on my channel and in like a tab if you want to click on that and see just like mini book reviews. Side note, sorry. But I was so excited to have this. Haley Pham has talked it up, and it sounded amazing, and it did not disappoint. I rated this one 4 stars. I was so excited to have this one. Then I have Exit Pursued by a Bear, and I've also already read this one, and it was amazing, and E.K. Johnson is the author, and she is one of my favorite authors, so of course she didn't disappoint. But this is about a cheerleader, and she goes through some really crazy things, and they're very heavy, and the way that this was written just deals with them in such a good way. So I will break this down for you in a minute as well. Then I read then I got People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I've heard so many amazing things about Emily Henry, and so I ended up actually getting 2 books by her, Book Lovers as well. So I'm really excited to read both of these. I actually already read this one. So I'll be giving you a little review of this one very soon as well. It was super good. I rated it 4 stars and I really enjoyed it. I loved the characters. I was so connected with the characters. And then we have The Do-Over. I've heard amazing things about this book, also about Lynn Painter, who is the author, and she has written quite a few of these similar style books. It's not a series. She's written quite a few books, yeah. I should have just said she's written quite a few books, but anyway, I'm really excited to read this one as well. Pretty much this girl just has to continue doing over the same day, and it's Valentine's Day, and like a lot of crazy stuff happens, I guess, and people have been absolutely raving about this book and her other books, so I'm so excited to get to this one as well. And that just explains right there why I got so many books from the library, is because they're all amazing. Like, the library has all the amazing books, guys, so go check out your library if you haven't gone and pick up 10 books for yourself and challenge yourself to read it and put aside your physical TBR. Just don't even worry about that. It's crying in the corner over there. I know mine is. I'm sorry. So I'm going to get into reading and then giving you little brief breakdowns of reviews for the rest of this video, so I hope that you enjoy. Alright, so since I am already sitting here, I figured I would film a review for you on one of these. So I'm going to start with Book Lovers because it's on the top here. Also, just so you know, I'm going to list all 10 of these books in the description link below, and I will put their Goodreads link in there. So if you would like to read a full breakdown of each book and what they're about, you can go ahead and just click on that if you're interested in any of them. So there's that. Let's get to the Book Lovers review. So this is by Emily Henry. This is my first book I've ever read by Emily Henry. Everyone raves about her. She definitely did not disappoint. I really enjoyed the writing style, and what really made the whole book for me was the characters. I loved the characters. I was just like rooting for them the whole time, and I was rooting for them to be together because this is a romance book, guys. Starts out in New York City, which is really cool because I am originally from New York, and then we moved to a small town in North Carolina, which my family has a home in North Carolina. My parents live there, so that was really cool for me to see that. Kind of just brought both my worlds together in a way, so I thought that was super cool, and I loved reading about that. And pretty much it's about 2 book lovers. They are book editors, and they don't really like each other at first, so it's kind of like enemies to lovers kind of book. And also it's about this girl's sister as well. She's involved a lot in this book, and she's got some mystery behind her. The whole book, pretty much, we are led to believe that she doesn't like her husband anymore, and she's pregnant, and she has 2 kids with him already. So this is her 3rd on the way, and her sister is thinking that she's going to be getting a divorce from him, and she's very unhappy with him. So that was like a little extra side drama added in as well. And pretty much, let me just say, like, the whole book I really liked. It was rated at 4 stars, and I loved the epilogue and the ending of this. It just gave me everything I was hoping that it was going to give me at the end. I was just like rooting for this ending, and it didn't disappoint because that's what I got. So I was so happy with that. to talk about Exit Pursued by a Bear. I'm just reading this. This was such an amazing book. 5 stars. I loved this book so much. I was actually surprised at how much I loved it. It's a very thin book. It's under 300 pages. So usually I read a little bit over that. So this just felt like a very, very quick read for me. I think I read it within like 2 days. It was absolutely amazing. I just loved every bit of it. There's so many heavy, crazy topics that happen that definitely look up a trigger warning before you read this. But it was so good. It was all these heavy topics, and then it was also a mystery at the same time. So you were like waiting to find things out as you went along in the book. So it made you want to read it even more. And then she had just such a wonderful way of writing that even though it was a heavy, hard topic to read about, she made it a lot easier to read about. And I just found myself not enjoying reading about this really horrible thing that happened, but just enjoying reading about how the character handled it, and her support group and her friends and family, and just how she went on with her life and was able to do that. It was just so good and very well written, and I would definitely read this if I was you right away. So my next book for my library review is Tweet Cute. I read this one and absolutely flew through this. I think, let me double check, it's about 360 pages, so it is a little bit of a thicker book, but it's like a very fast-paced, easy read. There's a lot of like text conversations throughout this book as well that kind of just breaks up the regular writing, like you can see right here, and it goes on for like a couple of pages. So it makes it a little bit easier to read, and it would probably help you get through it a lot faster. So there's that. This was just an adorable book. It was a romance, but it was kind of like a comedy, like rom-com-ish book, I would call it. Plus it had 2 small businesses in it. And one of those businesses grew and became really big, and then they kind of had like a Twitter war against each other, and that was really fun to read about. And then you had 2 high school kids that you focus on each of their stories individually and then also together, because they did become friends. And it was just adorable. I just loved every minute of it. I rated it 4 stars. Got me reading about something a little bit different than I would normally be reading about. There was really a lot to it. There was like a lot on Twitter that was happening, so we got to read a lot of that. There was a lot of just texted different conversations that were on a different app that we got to read about. Regular text messages on a phone, so like everything teenager is in this book pretty much. And I'm not a teenager, but I still found myself really enjoying it, and it kind of just took me back to like my teenage years, and it was just really fun and easy and fast-paced, and about like business, which was cool to have that thrown in there, about high school, about like college and worries and family and everything. And then at the very end we get an epilogue that just wraps everything up absolutely perfectly, and I just really enjoyed it. So I would definitely recommend this one. It was a great read. I've been reading Obsessed. I'm about like 30 pages into this, and so far I just like can't do it. It is just really not grabbing me at all, and I'm feeling like I don't want to say tortured by reading, just like I can't get into it. It's just, I know it's a memoir and it's about this girl's real life and what she really went through, and if she did really go through this in this way that she's explaining it, I really feel bad for her. But she pretty much has a dream that she has cancer, and now she's 15 years old, and it's the only thing she can think about. Like every single thing in her life, she relates it to her having cancer, even though she most likely does not have it. She just has this idea in her head and she can't get rid of it. And it's just all that's been talked about for probably like 15 pages, and I just can't do it anymore. I'm just finding myself to really not enjoy it. I really thought I was going to be very interested in this, and it's just not the one for me. So I have to DNF this one. I feel really bad saying that, but I'm putting this one down officially, and I'm going to get started on something else. This is going to be kind of a double shot. So I read The Do-Over and I read Counterfeit, kind of back to back. I read Counterfeit first, then The Do-Over. I think I knocked these out in like 2 days because I had a cold and I pretty much couldn't get out of bed, so all I did was read. So these were the ones that I read. I'm gonna start with this one just because I read it first, and also it was my favorite. This one I rated 5 stars, this one 4. Loved this book so much. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize how much I was going to love this book until I really got started reading it. And I partially listened to this and read it at the same time, which I've never done with a book before. And I actually really enjoyed that. It made it just go so much faster, and it just felt like it was just like read in like 5 seconds is kind of what it felt like to me. But let me give you a breakdown of this book because it was amazing, and I would highly suggest you go get it right now and read it. I think out of all the books that I got from the library, this is going to be like one of my top ones right now that I've read. I haven't read them all yet, so we'll see. But yeah, pretty much we have a lady, our main character. She starts off being like just kind of miserable with her life. Her child is like very fussy and just like throws fits and has tantrums and has like a lot of issues, and she just can't seem to like soothe him and like make him pull himself together really. So she's kind of just going through like the terrible twos. Then her friend from college shows up in her life again, and she's this glamorous girl who just like seems to have it all and has no problems. And she takes her to the mall one day, and she's got this Birkin purse, and she returns it to the mall, and I think she gets like $12,000 put back on her credit card. And then her friend was like, oh, like so impressed by it. And then she tells her like, oh, it's a counterfeit. Like I pretty much stole this bag and then sold it on eBay, and then I counterfeit, like had somebody counterfeit make it for me, and then I returned the counterfeit to the store, and they like are none the wiser to it. So she finds that out about her friend, like wants no part of it. She's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I would never be a part of this, yada, yada. And then she gets into like this tight situation, needs money, and gets involved with this friend. And the story just like unravels from there. There is so many like twists and turns and different like things thrown into this that you would not expect. And then on top of that, like the story's crazy enough as it is, right? And then you're going along and like, you know how when the author just like flips the script on you? Well, they flipped the script on me in this one, and I did not see it coming, and I was just like, wait, what just happened? No, stop. Like, I know I'm sick right now reading this book, but I'm not like hallucinating, am I? Like, this is real. But yeah, it was real, and it was crazy. It blew my mind, and had that not happened, I don't know that it would have been a 5-star book. It probably would have been 4, but since that happened, like, oh my gosh, crazy. And the ending was insane, and just love this so much. I just can't even get over it, to be honest. Do-Over. I've heard so many good things about this. I've never read a book by Lynn Painter, but I've heard a lot of good things about her as well. And I plan to read Better Than the Movies here soon, but I started off with this one because this one I just saw at the library and grabbed. Obviously, that's what this is about. And started off, and it was super cute. I was reading like a sci-fi book and a thriller and My Dark Vanessa along with this, like all at the same time. So jumping from those, and like once you've had like enough sci-fi, you just like can't take it anymore, you have to jump to something else, and jumping to this was just like so lighthearted and easy and just like great to just like escape into, kind of. I feel like that is the only reason I read books like this. This isn't really like my pick genre at all. Like young adult romance, not really for me. But this one was so cute, and it was just so well written that it almost didn't feel like you were really even reading. You kind of just felt like you were there. I'm sure you know the story, but let me just briefly go over it. We have our main character. She pretty much has the worst Valentine's Day ever, and then has to relive it like over and over and over and over and over again. It's kind of like Groundhog Day, that movie, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of like that, where they just repeat the day over and over again, and they can't understand why, and no one else is repeating the day but the character. So that's what's happening, and she has to figure out like what's going on and how to stop it, and just wants to get back into her normal life, pretty much. Lots of twists and turns, lots of cool stuff happens. It was a little bit predictable for me. Like, I knew when the final Valentine's Day was going to be, kind of, because I was just like, there's no way that it couldn't be this day, you know? It was kind of obvious. I don't know, I mean, it was kind of cute that it was obvious, but at the same time, like, I kind of wish it wasn't as obvious, but whatever, it worked. And I just liked it. It was just fun. It was easy. It was like a little romance that kind of took you around in circles, but like in the best way possible, and I just liked it. I would recommend it for sure. I feel like I would have rated it like 3.5 stars if I did half-star ratings, but I rounded up so that I can't do those half-star ratings. It's kind of weird for me. So I rated it 4 stars, and we're just gonna stick with that. And I liked it. I did. I'm glad I read it. But this one just like blew it out of the water, so it's kind of hard to like compare. So there's 2 more checked off the list, and yeah, I can't wait to read some more and then tell you about that, and then wrap this video up, because this video has literally been being filmed for like over a month now, and it's kind of bugging me out because I've never took this long to film a video ever. But I'm also kind of proud of myself because I told myself in 2023 I was going to go outside of my box. So this is me going outside of my box.